Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua and today we're playing Assassin's Creed Revelations. So in the previous episode, we went through this weird glowy portal, this sync nexus, and we found Ezio, Masayef, and the host of Templars that we're calling it home. We then chased a Templar captain out of Masayef and to some other random village where we killed him and took a journal from him. And that journal should show us the location to the, well, not the location, but bring us to the keys that will open up Altair's library. I believe we have one, or do we not? We might not. We'll find out soon. Let's go back into the sync nexus, and let's get this party started.
Dear sister, Masayef is overrun by a battery of Templars, and their motive is clear. They desire the secrets locked away in Altair's library. Secrets they believe will lead them to something called the Grand Temple. Whether or not this is true, I do know the library is real. I have seen its door for myself. But none can enter. Not without 5 keys which were sent to Constantinople with Niccolo Polo almost 300 years ago. Claudia, I must find these keys. The Templars have already located one, and I do not know how difficult it will be to find the others. Only time, skill, and a bit of luck will tell.
Sequence 2. The Crossroads of the World. Constantinople, May 1511. So I was wrong. We don't have a key. Just the journal.
Magnificent sight.
It is a work in progress.
No city in Europa has a skyline quite like this.
Well, to be precise, that is Europa. That is Asia.
Ah. Some borders even the Ottomans cannot move.
Very few. You are Italian by the sound of it, but your outfit is not. Have you been traveling long?
Si, a molto tempo. I left Rome 12 months ago, looking for inspiration. And that search brought me here. When I was a child, my father told me stories about the fall of Constantinople.
You must mean the conquest of Constantinople. I suppose the moral of any story matches the temper of the man telling it.
That we can agree on.
Güzel. Constantinople is a city for all kinds and creeds. Students like me or travelers such as yourself. I have so much work to return to, but it is good to be home.
Work? When I was your age, my interests were mainly salve.
Incredible. I am surprised you got anything done.
As was my mother.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, Bey Effendi. I hope you find something to hold your interest here.
I have faith I will.
Yardım edebilir miyim efendim?
Grazie, dear boy.
A scholar and a gentleman. You are full of surprises.
Very few, my friend. Exceed all mine.
Hoş geldin kardeşim. Unless the legend is a lie, you are the man I long to meet. Renowned master and mentor. Ezio Auditore de la.
Prego.
Forgive me. I have a hard time remembering that Italian gibberish.
Da Firenze. The city where I was born.
Ah, yes. So, by your custom, I would be Yusuf Tazim da Istanbul. I like that.
Istanbul. Yet another name for this city.
Evet, it's a local favorite. Come, Mentor da Firenze. I will show you around.
Alright, so we have met
What are these Byzantine thoughts?
Prince Suleiman and this character, Yusuf. I think it has come to the time when we must go through and check our database for the first entries of the game. And this is all we had last time, so it must take some entries like the Greek fire and whatnot from my previous save or something. I don't know. No, I don't have any previous saves. How could that be? This is weird. Maybe it's from Brotherhood? Anyway, so we have the thieves. Following the example of legitimate craftsmen, like miners, stonecutters, masons, and hangmen, many thieves in the Ottoman Empire were members of an organized guilds, most of which were well known to the police on account of the frequent bribes and tributes the thieves paid to keep the authorities off their backs. The thieves were also mindful to target foreigners as often as possible so that not to upset the locals, which proved quite easy in cosmopolitan Constantinople. It must be also noted that the line between crook and cop was very porous in those days, as many of the police chosen to keep watch on the thieves were themselves former members of the larcenous class. Okay, so the cops are thieves. Everybody's a thief. Just target the foreigners and you'll be fine. We have Greek fire. For centuries, the Byzantine Empire used Greek fire during naval battles. This gave them a great technological advantage and was responsible for many key victories, such as the salvation of Constantinople in 1203 from 2 Arab sieges. Incendiary weapons were used in warfare for centuries before the invention of Greek fire, but what set the Byzantine Greek fire apart was its unique formula, which would continue burning even underwater, and the use of pressurized siphons to project the liquid onto the enemy ships. Some consider Greek fire the predecessor of modern napalm. The ingredients, the process of manufacturing, and the precise deployment of Greek fire were extremely well-guarded military secrets. Knowledge and fabrication of the substance were highly divided, with operators and technicians aware of the secrets of only one component, ensuring that no enemy could gain knowledge of it in its entirety. For instance, some Bulgarians captured 36 Greek fire siphons in early 9th century, but were unable to make any use of them. Alright, we have Constantinople. I assume this is going to be a rather lengthy entry. Whew. Wow. Okay. So let's begin. Constantinople, founded in 658 BCE on First Hill. Byzantium began life as a modest walled-in city populated by Doric Greeks. Its founder was Byzas, a soldier rumored to have been son of Poseidon and the nymph Croatia? Let's go with that. A devout man, Bizas had chosen the site of his new city based on a promising prophecy uttered by the oracle of Apollo at Delphi. From its earliest days, Byzantium was an isolated colony, a so-called island of Hellenic civilization in a sea of barbarian tribes, although its popular reputation as a raucous port town full of drunk merchants and sots typically outshined its credentials as a locus of culture. As the playwright Menander wrote in his now-lost play The Flute Girl, Byzantium making all of her merchant drunkards, the whole night through we were drinking, and methinks 'twas very strong wine, too. At any rate, I awoke with a head of 4. Later in the centuries, as Greek civilization dwindled and receded, Byzantium's inhabitants diversified, and its rulers came and went in a rotating lineup of hopeful shepherds, Spartans, Macedonians, Athenians, and Romans all took their turn, lording over the small city on First Hill. Then in 324 CE, the Roman Emperor Constantinus, inspired by a vision from God, he claimed, moved the capital of the Roman Empire to Byzantium, and once settled, set about rebuilding it to his strict specifications, adding grandeur and panache befitting a Roman emperor. When construction was finished in 330 CE, he had the city rechristened Nova Roma Constantinople, New Rome, the city of Constantinople. Native-born city dwellers continued to call the city Byzantium for many generations, but gradually its colloquial name, Constantinopolis, caught on, and as did New Rome, since the men who ruled the city still thought of themselves as Romans living by the Eastern Roman Empire. The moniker Byzantium Empire is a more contemporary term that gained popularity sometime after the Ottoman conquest of the city. For 800 years, Constantinople served as the capital of the transformed Roman Empire, keeping alive a commonwealth that had all but withered in the West under the weight of barbarian attacks and the economic hardship throughout the Middle Ages. Constantinople burned brightly compared to the darkness that engulfed the rest of Europe, though it too suffered from its share of turmoil. In 1204, the city was captured by a Latin army shortly after Pope Innocent III blessed the Vatican's fourth and final Christian crusade, but the Latins' brief tenure led to an influx of Venetian and generous merchants who took up residence on the south and north side of the Golden Horn respectively. In 1261, Michael Palaiologos, Greek heir to the Byzantine throne, marched on Constantinople and won a decisive victory, but that city he had recaptured was faltering, and the empire he now controlled possessed a mere fraction of its former landed influence. Thus began the 200-year decline of the once great city. And though Constantinople continued to flourish as a cultural center, thanks in large part to a healthy system of art patronage from wealthy residents, the city's population rapidly dwindled. By 1397, it was clear the city's days as the Byzantine capital were numbered. To the north, east, and south, the Ottoman Empire was expanding and gaining strength, squeezing the city like a ripe grape. The Byzantine Empire of the era pleaded with its leaders in Western Europe for aid, but ongoing wars and the complex feelings held by the Catholic West concerning their Orthodox cousin led only to a series of half-hearted gestures and weak alliances. At long last, in 1453, the invasion so many Byzantines had feared for nearly a century came to pass, led by Sultan Mehmed II, Mehmed the Conqueror, as he was later known. a massive Ottoman army marched to the walls of Constantinople and laid siege. From that day forward, the Ottoman Turks ruled the city. They made it their first priority to restore the city to its former glory. With the sultans adopting a tolerant position with respect to religion, the city became more attractive to all kinds and creeds. And over the next 100 years, its population increased tenfold, from 40,000 to 400,000. Constantinople, now called Istanbul by a large number of its residents, was back on the map and destined for greatness once again. Okay, we have Cappadocia, a rocky region in the Anatolia, now the Nevşehir province of central Turkey. Cappadocia is an area best known for its sparse and rugged terrain and stunning rock formations. Because of this unique geography, Cappadocia has often existed apart from the empire that grew and flourished outside of its borders. Alexander the Great, for instance, was unable to subdue the region fully during his lengthy military campaigns and was forced to settle for a normally autonomous kingdom, led by its own king, existing inside the borders of his own empire. Arid and open compared to Constantinople's lush density, Cappadocia is best known to outsiders for its 200 underground cities and villages, a few of which once housed and sheltered populations of over 10,000 people between the years 600 and 1400 BCE. Literally carved into the soft rock prevalent throughout the region, these cities were fully functioning colonies comprised of hundreds of narrow tunnels and caverns connecting dozens upon dozens of rooms, including living quarters, chapels, granaries, kitchens, wine and oil presses, ventilation shafts, and stables. The largest of these cities, Direnicu, was built to a depth of 85 meters and consisted of 11 interlocking levels with more than 50 ventilation shafts. Beginning in the 13th century, when the Byzantine Empire was crumbling and the emperors could no longer protect their subjects living on the ever-shrinking borders of their kingdom, wayward Christians took to living in the hidden cities for extended periods to stay hidden from the encroaching Muslim populations. It is unclear whether these cities were eventually abandoned, but it is likely that small populations occupied them in some capacity up until very recently, when the majority of cities still intact were turned into tourist attractions. Alright, we have Masyaf. Hidden away in the Orontes Valley in what is now Syria, Masyaf was the headquarters of the Assassin Brotherhood in the Levant. Its proximity to Jerusalem, Acre, and Damascus made it a natural center of assassin influence in the region. By the Third Crusade, Masyaf had become a political, cultural, and geographical center of the assassins, a training ground, and an impenetrable fortress, a sanctuary, a vast library, and a base of operations for the Brotherhood. Masyaf was all of these things, yet the public's perception of the citadel was far less complete, for in those days the citadel and its inhabitants were kept isolated from the larger populace. Life within the walls of Masyaf was Spartan and strict, consisting of many regimented rituals and challenges, and it was an exclusive group. Assassins, mostly men, were born into the order, not recruited, and trained from an early age to obey their mentor and adhere to the creed. In 1191, the Crusader commander Robert de Sable laid siege to the city and the castle. The assassins withstood this assault, but briefly succumbed to another enemy later in the same year, when Grand Master Al-Mualim betrayed the Brotherhood and briefly seized control of Masyaf using the powerful Apple of Eden artifact. His defeat at the hands of Altair ibn Lahad marking a turning point in assassin ideology. Later in the year, the assassins gradually abandoned many of their unnecessary Rituals enforced by Al-Mualim. Over time, Altair, now a mentor himself, attempted to transform Masyaf into a place of learning and healing, opening the Citadel's doors to recruits from around the world, and for a time, he succeeded exceptionally well. Alright, let's go to Altair next. Altair ibn Lahad. If one man was responsible for changing the face of modern assassins forever, it was this guy. Altair ibn Lahad, born in the Holy Land in 1165 to parents he hardly knew, into an order he did not choose. Altair nevertheless proved himself a devoted pupil and capable fighter before he was out of his teens. In 1189, just as the Third Crusades were gathering their steam, Altair, stunning even his attentive mentor, Al-Mualim, by almost single-handedly routing a wave of Crusader soldiers from the steps of Masyaf Castle. From that day forward, Altair's name was known to all assassins. Over the next 2 years, his reputation as a stubborn but deadly fighter eclipsed every minor detail of his mysterious life. Loved by few but admired by all, his impeccable talents were the source of both his incredible success and his overbearing arrogance. But this was only half the story. Since youth, Altair had shown signs of possessing a rare sixth sense that allowed unprecedented access to the emotions and intentions of his opponents and allies. Dubbed Eagle Vision by his fellow assassins, Altair honed and perfected this sense in secret, always wondering if this curious ability that set him apart from the rest would prove a liability. Thanks to the memory stored in Altair's 5 Masyaf keys, we can now get a good glimpse of the man himself, instead of settling for a vague glimpse through the Templars' frankly primitive Animus 1.28 avatar projection system. Alright, next we have Subject 16. Oh, we have his name. Hello, I'm Clay Kazmarek, and I'm a number, Subject 16. Yes, we're all reducible in the end, right, 17? Just numbers. Ones and zeros. I proved that. The day before I offed myself, I created this little artificially intelligent construct talking to you now, using the Animus and its incredible simulation capabilities. I copied myself, snapped that copy into 24 pieces, and scattered them around these databanks. You found them. You pieced me back together. Not bad, eh? Teamwork? Word on the street, of course, is that Clay, the real Clay, the assassin, Lucy's teammate, he isn't alive anymore. He slit his wrists, if I heard right. Damn shame I never got to see that for myself, but I can imagine. My head was, pardon me, his head was swimming with images of his last memory moments, for weeks, like he was rehearsing it, planning just how he'd do it. I hear he even got around to finger painting on the walls of his cell before checking out. Is that right? Mad bastard. I miss him. I really do. Sorry, this is getting confusing. The real Clay is gone, and I have taken his place. Good enough, right? Good enough to still call me cousin? Right, Desmond? Very distant cousins, you and me. Because somewhere back along our extensive family tree, we both have Ezio to thank for that gift of life. Both of us are related to him, and both of us have had nice little jaunts through his memories. Although I have access to far fewer memories than you did. Figure that one out. I guess that's why you're so special. You're the convergence of several amazing bloodlines. But not me. No, I was just a promising lead, a stepping stone to get to you. Oh well. I played my part. What more can I say? Very little, it turns out. Subject 16. So he copied himself, and he put an artificial intelligent version of himself on the Animus. That's a little confusing. Alright, so next we have the Golden Horn, and this is back in Constantinople. The Golden Horn, or Halic, meaning waterway, is an estuary flowing into the Bosphorus Straits that bisect Constantinople into its northern and southern halves. Because of its breadth and depth, the Golden Horn has served as a natural harbor since the days of ancient Byzantium. In 1502, after the concession of violence between the Ottomans and Venetians, Sultan Bayezid II invited the famous Florentine Leonardo da Vinci to submit a design for a bridge that would span a 250-meter-wide section of the Golden Horn. Upon seeing Leonardo's design, however, the Sultan felt the project was too ambitious and scrapped the idea. 4 years later, Bayezid extended the same invitation to a young artist named Michelangelo, but Michelangelo, being an avid rival of Da Vinci, refused the Sultan's invitation outright, evidently incensed that Leonardo had been asked first. Alright, and last we have Prince Suleiman. Everyone in the world knew this guy's name in the 16th century. Suleiman the Magnificent, they called him in the West, the 10th Sultan of Osman's ever-expanding empire. His fellow Turks were also generous with their praise, though far more practical, calling him Suleiman, Kunani, or the Lawgiver, the man responsible for improving the empire's bureaucratic engine, making it run like a well-oiled engine. No small feat for an empire as large as his, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Ahead of our present concerns. When Ezio met Suleiman, he was still a young man with only the faintest hope of ever becoming sultan, since his father Selim was dead last in the Ottoman hierarchy. So, as befitting a young man of his state and stature, Suleiman threw himself into study with little thought of ever becoming sultan himself. He was educated at the University of Istanbul and received private tutoring in Topkapi Palace. Let's go with that. Topkapi. Little else is known about his early years except that he was a kind and thoughtful man, and he had a servant named Ibrahim, who he considered his best friend. By the time Suleiman was 17, however, Bayezid had recognized his grandson's talents and intelligence, and installed him as the governor of a large region north of the Black Sea. Over the next few years, Suleiman would hold a number of similar positions until 1520, when an unexpected tragedy robbed his father of the sultanate. Suleiman, aged 26, took the throne, a position he would hold for almost 50 years. No pacifist, Suleiman would expand the Ottoman Empire's lands to its furthest point, and by the end of his rule, the lands under his command stretched from Algeria to the Persian Gulf, and from Austria down to Egypt. But for all his expansionist desires, he was a tolerant man too, and realized that the only way to keep an empire as large as his together was to honor the cultures, traditions, and religions of those living under his auspice. Okay. So many entries. But that's what you get for this beginning. And now we have Yusuf Tazim. I suppose we should read him too. Never gonna get to do anything. This is gonna be a reading episode. I don't want one of those. Alright, Yusuf Tazim. Abstergo has some data on this guy, gathered a few years back, but there's not a lot about him in standard history books, which I'm sure he'd be happy to know. Yusuf Tazim was a Turk born in Bursa around 1467, but he was raised in Constantinople from the age of 8 by his mother. His father was an assassin, and presumably that's how Yusuf became one too. But there's no mention of what happened to Papa Tazim. Was he killed? Did he desert his family? Your guess is as good as mine. By the time he was 17, Yusuf was well known around the city as a rabble-rouser and a petty thief, but a chance meeting with the legendary Vizier Ishak Pasha changed all that. Ishak was an assassin too, operating in the Sublime Porta right under Bayezid II's nose. It was Ishak who defeated Vlad Tepes and later brokered the truce between the Ottomans and the Assassins. By the late 1480s, he was busy recruiting open-minded citizens of the empire to his order's cause. Yusuf was taken with Ishak's charisma and easy manner of leading, so he joined the assassins just before his 20th birthday. From here, Yusuf's rise was swift and assured, and by 1500 CE, he had made quite a name for himself. In 1502, Yusuf met with a contingent of Venetian assassins in Greece in a joint effort to steer the Ottoman-Venetian war to a peaceful end. These efforts appeared to have paid off, for in 1503 the fighting stopped, ushered in a brief era of peace on the Ottoman Empire's western border. Perhaps made complacent by the assassins' success in keeping the peace, Sultan Bayezid II grew soft in his final decades, preferring his mystical texts and alchemical experiments to govern. This suited the assassins just fine, for a dull peace was preferable to endless war and imperial expansion. But following the earthquake in 1509, a new threat appeared in Constantinople: Templars. Fighting under the old Byzantine crest, stirring from years of relative calm, Yusuf once again roused his assassins to begin the long and difficult fight ahead. Alright. We got this. No more entries. No more entries. Come on, Yusuf. Let's go. A warm welcome. Master Assassin Yusuf Tazim has welcomed you to Constantinople and would like to give you a tour. Get to know him and his city. And for full sync, we must not wander far from Yusuf. Okay.
Welcome to Galata district. For centuries, it has been a home to orphans from Europa and Asia alike. You won't find more diversity anywhere else in the city. And for that reason, assassins make it their home.
I would like to see where.
Kesinlikle. The Brotherhood is always eager to meet the man who put the Borgias out to pasture.
Oh. Does everyone in this city know I'm here already?
Well, your Holy Land tussle with the Templars did not go unnoticed.
When I first set out, violence was so far from my mind. I sought wisdom. The contents of Altair's library.
Not realizing it has been sealed for 3 centuries?
No, I assumed as much. But I never expected to find Templars guarding it.
Very troubling, no? 5 years ago, Templar influence here was minimal. A small faction with dreams of restoring the Byzantine throne. But they're growing in number, day by day. And the Sultan Bayezid on his way out. They may try something dramatic.
Is there no heir to the Ottoman throne?
Not just one, 2 angry sons. It's a familiar pattern with these royals. When the Sultan coughs, the princes draw their swords.
Alright, I saw some of the Byzantium Templars.
Between the Templars and the Ottomans, you must stay busy.
Ezio, I barely have time to polish my blade.
You won't get away!
I must remember that.
They just push me out of the way. Why can't I draw my sword? Come on, there we go.
A master's work.
All right.
Ezio, there. Another way. No. Watch.
Byzantium is dead, as are you.
The whole city wakens to welcome you, Ezio. First the regents, now the rats. Ottoman soldiers have a special loathing for these Byzantine thugs. That gives us some breathing room.
How much?
Just a little. They'll still kill you if you look at them wrong. But they will feel bad about it later.
Touching.
It's not so bad, really. For the first time in many decades, the assassins have a strong presence here. It wasn't always that way. Under the Byzantine Emperor, the assassins were hunted down and killed on the spot. We're almost there.
I'm not going to read that this time. I will read the Galata Tower at some point in the future. Do you have anything else, Yusuf, or are you done talking?
This way.
Hey, we made it. Oh, and here is the Assassin's headquarters.
Mentor, say hello to your extended family.
Salute a voi, assassini. It is an honor to find such fast friends so far from home.
You see, brothers? Our mentor is not afraid to weep openly in front of pupils.
Do not worry. I will not make a habit out of it.
Ezio and I were ambushed on the way here. I'd like some of you to do a sweep of the area. Hey, men! And you, Ezio. Your weapons and armor are in a pitiful state. Maybe find some money and repair what you can. There is a blacksmith nearby. He's a friend.
Buona idea.
Okay, so Ezio's equipment is not in good condition. Explore the Galata district and upgrade his equipment. Let's go. So, we are tasked with leaving the Assassin HQ. We will be back at some point. So, we will take our... I assume we'll get a tour. Or we'll just wander around. So, yeah. Systemic events might occur as you walk around the city. Citizens in need of help may reward you for your assistance. Alright, earn enough money to buy new armor. How much money do I need? Let's go check it out.
This week I'm almost giving my labor.
Hey guys, what's up? I don't need to repair anything. Alright, so 343, that's... okay. We got some Zap leather spalders. We got our armor, we're good. We're good. Oh! What are we doing? Oh, we're back. What do we got? We have, ooh, a bearded axe. So we need a heavy sheath. Yeah. Of course, we can't keep our heavy sheath from the last game. Or our crossbow. Okay, so we will have to get that crossbow and get our heavy sheath at a future point. Let's go back here. What's going on?
Praise the heavens! We feared we had lost our mentor to the vices of the big city.
I am content with my own vices, grazie.
So, what's on your mind, Ezio?
Tell me more about the Templars. You call them Byzantines. Yet the Byzantine Empire was overthrown 60 years ago.
These men are remnants of a line loyal to the cause of the last emperor, Constantinople. Who leads them now, however? I cannot say.
Capisco. I suppose it is up to me to find out.
Ezio, where is your hook blade?
My hook blade.
You've never seen one? I grew up using these.
Show me how it works.
The hook blade. So we must follow Yusuf and learn how to use our new hook blade. We must, for full synchronization, perform every hook blade move successfully at least once. Yes. Follow Yusuf as he demonstrates the extended reach maneuver. I believe this is probably my favorite hook blade maneuver here. You can just kind
Think
of...
of the hook blade as an extension of yourself, Ezio.
So you run and jump and in midair extend the hook, and it allows you to grab and immediately pull yourself up. Oh, what is that thing? Animus data fragment. Okay. Ah. Well, I've previously succeeded with the extended reach, so I'm not worried about that one.
You think I cannot make this one? Didn't break a sweat.
Long jump. So, okay, so we jump at the lamp and then press the B button before we hit the lamp, and we'll jump forward instead of swinging around the corner. Whew, that was close. Probably shouldn't be getting these, but who knows. What's next, Yusuf?
Watch and learn, Ezio. We call this a hook and run. Sprint at your opponent, and just as you reach him, use the hook blade to slip by.
Okay. So, run towards the assassin and hold B. Ah, so it's like a dodge. I understand. I wonder if that'll protect me from the guys who are in the guard stance. Oh, I can't. There's another maneuver called a hook and throw. Oh. Nope. It's not how you do it. I'm trying to do the hook and throw, guys, to show you. Nope. Okay, I've caused enough trouble. Let's just talk to Yusuf.
The standard Ottoman hook blade has two parts, you see. The hook and the blade. So you can use one or the other. An elegant design. How about the bigger challenge?
Va bene, let's go.
Oh, what is this? Okay. Ezio is now the proud owner of an Ottoman hook blade. He needs a bit of training to master it. Training Yusuf is more than happy to provide, so we must climb the tower in under 60 seconds. Okay, we got this. Press A to launch yourself with the hook blade.
Having fun?
Ah, So it's like the jump we did, except
That's right. Let
different.
the hook blade do the work.
It like springs you. I see. I got it. Go, Yusuf, go.
İşte böyle. Throw yourself into it.
I think we got this in under the 60 seconds. I'm waiting on Yusuf, though. I could have made it faster than him, I think.
Welcome to Constantinople, Ezio. The crossroads of the world. Many generations of men have ruled the city, but they have never subdued her. She always bounces back.
It seems a fine place to call home.
It is. Race you to the bottom?
Alright, so let's synchronize. How do I synchronize? Oh, that's right. It is the left stick. Oh, there's some treasure up here. Ooh. I feel like there's going to be something up top. Well, we are right here. Let's take a quick trip to the top of Galata Tower. Come on. Use your hook blade, Ezio. Maybe he can't use his hook blade. Okay, so we've got some memoir pages. We must collect the 10 lost memoir pages to unlock something. I didn't read what that was. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the memoir pages are what let us get the special armor, the best armor in the game. So we're gonna go through, and through our playthrough, we will find all of the pages, because it leads to one set of awesome armor.
I'm impressed, Yusuf. My brothers in Roma would like this.
Just give credit where it is due.
Yusuf, çabuk buraya gel.
Huh?
An attack on two fronts, Galata and the Grand Bazaar.
Every day, the same bad news. How is your appetite for swordplay?
I do what I must.
Good man.
Alright, so we are getting a rather long video here, so I am going to commit a sin. I know. I am going to leave this video on a cliffhanger. When we come back next time, we will begin with the Advanced Tactics mission. We will find out, word has reached Yusuf that the Templars are attacking two separate assassin dens. We must follow Yusuf while he conceives a plan. For full synchronization, we will perform a zipline assassination. But when we come back. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua. This is the Nocturnal Gaming Network, bringing you Assassin's Creed Revelations. Have yourselves a wonderful night.